At a music festival, my girlfriend hopped onto her male best friend's shoulders, giggling. "You're taller, so much better than my boyfriend," she shouted. The crowd erupted in cheers. I walked away. The next morning, she realized she'd lost more than just me. Have you ever had one of those moments where the world goes silent? Everything narrows down to one piercing truth, and you see it for what it really is. For me, that moment hit last Friday night, surrounded by a roaring crowd of thousands. What I saw was the undeniable end of my relationship. Let me break it down. I'm Leo, 33, and I run a fitness center. My life revolves around discipline, strength, and cutting through nonsense. I don't play games. My girlfriend Maya, who I'd been with for 2 years, was my opposite. She thrived on drama, thinking it made her captivating. For a while, I chalked it up to her personality, but I started to see it was a deliberate choice, a selfish, disrespectful one. The biggest issue was her best friend, Eric, who she called her brother. I'm not naive. I noticed how he looked at her, always finding excuses to touch her arm or back. About 6 months ago, I laid it all out. We had a massive argument about him. I told her I wasn't going to be the guy who ignores what's right in front of him. I gave her an ultimatum, set clear boundaries with Eric or we're done. She sobbed, swore he was just a friend, and promised to prioritize our relationship. For a while, she followed through. The late-night texts stopped. He wasn't at every dinner. I thought we'd resolved it. Then came the concert last Friday. It was for her favorite band, and I went all out to get those tickets, spending more than I could afford because I wanted it to be a special night for us. It was supposed to be our date. We got through the gates, and there he was, Eric, standing there with a smug grin. My stomach dropped. What was he doing here? I didn't hide my irritation. Maya immediately got defensive. "Oh, Leo, don't make a scene. He got a ticket from a friend. It's just a coincidence." I stared at her, then at him. His smug, triumphant smirk said it all. This wasn't a coincidence. It was planned. She'd lied to me, breaking the one promise I'd made a deal-breaker. "Fine," I said, just that one word. I should have left right then, but I'd paid for the tickets and I wanted to see the band. So I decided to act like they didn't exist. A dumb move, I know, but Maya and Eric had their own agenda. They were all over each other, whispering, laughing at private jokes I wasn't part of. She was putting on a show, and I was just the guy who drove her there. When the headliner took the stage, the crowd surged forward. Maya started whining that she couldn't see. She's short, so it was probably true. "Leo, let me get on your shoulders," she said, acting like everything was fine. "You know my back's bad," I replied. "We can move to the side." She pouted for a few seconds, then turned to Eric with a bright, fake smile. "Eric, you'll do it, you're strong." And just like that, he crouched down and she climbed onto his shoulders. The crowd, mostly drunk college kids, started cheering. She soaked it up, playing to them, basking in her moment. Then she looked down at me, literally, since Eric's a bit taller. She laughed, a loud, harsh sound. "See," she yelled, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "you're taller, so much better than my boyfriend." The crowd loved it. Eric just stared at me with that same smug, punchable grin. He'd won. That's when the world went quiet for me. The music, the crowd, it all faded. It was just this sharp, cold clarity. This was the end. I didn't get mad. I didn't shout. I just looked up at her, this woman I thought I loved, humiliating me on another man's shoulders, and I smiled because I was done. I turned and walked away. The crowd parted as if they could sense the energy radiating off me. I didn't look back. I left the venue, stepped into the cool night air, and felt nothing but relief. They were so caught up in their little victory that they probably didn't even notice I was gone. Update 1 ***. The taxi ride home was the best 45 minutes I'd had in ages. My mind was crystal clear, no more doubting myself, no more wondering if I was overreacting. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I got to my apartment, my name on the lease, my furniture. It was just after 10 p.m. I locked the deadbolt and went straight to our bedroom to pack her things. I didn't just toss her stuff around. I used her fancy suitcases and packed everything, her clothes, her toiletries, everything. By midnight, it was like she'd never lived there, just a row of bags by the front door. I knew they'd come back eventually, probably drunk and expecting me to be over it. I sat on the couch, turned on a game, and waited. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard them stumbling up, laughing. Her key scratched at the lock, then hit the deadbolt. Confusion. Then the banging started. "Leo, open the door, it's stuck," she shouted. I didn't budge. I watched them on the doorbell camera. Eric, trying to play the tough guy, rammed the door with his shoulder and bounced off like a fool. It was almost comical. Finally, she called me. "Leo, what's wrong with the door?" she demanded. "Nothing," I said. "It's locked." "Well, unlock it." "No." A pause. "What do you mean, no?" You don't live here anymore, Maya, I said. You found someone so much better, so go live with him. Your bags are packed. Good luck. I could hear Eric shouting in the background. She started stammering. You're breaking up with me over a joke? You broke up with me when you lied to my face and brought him to our date, I said. The rest was just you confirming my choice in front of thousands. We're done. I hung up and blocked both their numbers. The banging and yelling went on for a bit. Finally, I shouted through the door, Hey, Maya, tell your buddy to go easy on my door before he hurts himself. You'll need him to carry your bags. Eventually, they left. I watched them go on the camera. It felt good. The next morning, I moved her suitcases into the building's hallway. I used an app to send an anonymous text. Your stuff's in the hall. Then I headed to the gym. When I got back, the bags were gone. The calm didn't last. By Monday, the smear campaign began. I was the bad guy, jealous, controlling, unable to take a joke. I'd abandoned her at the concert and in a deranged rage, kicked her out of her home. The story spread like wildfire through our social circle. I got texts from people who bought her version. I deleted them. My true friends, the ones who know me, called to get my side. I told them the truth, plain and simple. They understood. The rest. I didn't care. If they believed her lies, they weren't worth my time. I knew she and Eric wouldn't let it go. His ego was too big, so I waited for round 2. They found me on Saturday, a week after the concert. I was in my building's parking garage loading new weights into my truck. They pulled up, blocking me in. Maya got out, tears streaming. Eric got out looking for trouble. Leo, we need to talk, she said. No, we don't, I replied, not even glancing at them. Eric stepped up. She's talking to you. Show some respect. I turned to face him. This isn't your business, step back. I'm not going anywhere, he said, getting in my face, using his height to try to intimidate me. It wasn't working. You humiliated her, apologize. I laughed right in his face. Apologize, move, Eric. I tried to step past, and he shoved me hard in the chest, making me stumble. Apologize, he repeated. That was it. All the lies, the disrespect, the smirks, it all boiled over. He'd made it physical. He shoved me again, and my training kicked in. I've been in the gym my whole life. One clean right hook to his jaw, and he crumpled. Out cold before he hit the ground. Maya screamed, You monster, I'm calling the police. Go ahead, I said, flexing my hand. I'll show them the garage footage of your buddy assaulting me first. See who they believe. She froze, phone in hand, looking at Eric groaning on the ground, then at me calm as ever. I saw a flicker of fear in her eyes. Update 2 ***. That punch changed everything. It wasn't about winning a fight. It was about ending one. Maya, sobbing, helped a dazed and bleeding Eric into his car. They sped off without another word. The threat of security footage and an assault charge shut down her drama. The story of the punch spread, but without context, their narrative didn't stick. My real friends knew the truth, and anyone at the concert who saw her behavior could connect the dots. You can't call someone a monster when you were humiliating them in public a week earlier. Their smear campaign fizzled. A week later, the begging started. She used friends' phones to send long, rambling apologies. It was a mistake, she was drunk, Eric was just a friend, same old lies. I blocked the numbers as they came. Then she showed up at my gym during a client session. She looked like a wreck. I told my client to take a break and walked her outside. You can't be here, I said. Leo, please, she begged. I messed up, I know that now. Good, I said. Then you know why we're done. But I love you, I'll do anything. I told Eric we're done. Too late, I said, turning to leave. Wait, she grabbed my arm. We can fix this, but first you need to apologize to Eric. You really hurt him and he was just defending me. I stared at her for a solid 10 seconds, stunned by her audacity. She wanted me to apologize to the guy she cheated with, who helped her humiliate me, who assaulted me. It was so absurd it was almost genius. I burst out laughing, a deep, uncontrollable laugh. I had to lean against the wall. What's so funny? She demanded, angry and confused. You, I gasped, wiping my eyes. You really think you're still in charge here? You think you're the prize? I straightened up, looked her in the eyes. Get out, Maya, don't come back, we're done. And no, I'm not apologizing to your boyfriend. I went back inside and locked the door. Final update ***. It's been 6 months. She hasn't contacted me since, thanks to the threat of a restraining order finally sinking in. From what I've heard through the few mutual friends I still talk to, her life's a mess. She and Eric tried to make it work, but their whole dynamic was built on him being the better option. Without me to rebel against, they fell apart. They had a huge public fight at a bar, and that was it. Eric's tough guy image took a hit. Getting knocked out after messing with his friend's girlfriend made him a local joke. I heard he needed dental work too, which wasn't cheap. Maya had to move back with her parents. Without me footing her bills, she couldn't afford her place. She got a dull office job and apparently hates it, going from party queen to cubicle drone. The irony's rich. I saw her once a few weeks ago while on a date with someone new. We were at a restaurant and Maya was our server. She saw me, went pale, and immediately told her manager she was sick and left. My date asked what that was about. I just smiled and said, "Long story." And it is a long story, but it's over. The real revenge wasn't the punch or locking her out. It was stepping out of her drama entirely. I left the stage and let her and Eric have the spotlight they craved. Like most bad performers, they crashed and burned. They didn't just lose a boyfriend that night, they lost their audience. For people like them, that's worse than anything.